You missed out the BCCI emerging series recently.
Yes, I obviously missed the tournament. It was heartbreaking to miss it.
Coach, I mean, it's like a father figure to you. Is he a hard taskmaster when it comes to coaching?
Right from childhood, he's been in a way where discipline comes first and the commitment towards the game comes first. And after a point, after 16, 17, he has eased out a little bit, but still the core values still remain the same.
Can a batter like Smaran Ravichandran score runs in T20 playing in the V?
I feel it can be possible by playing the V, but obviously you need a few more range of shots.
Smaran Ravichandran, if I'm correcting the name rightly, because everywhere it's Ravichandran Smaran. Sayyid Bhai told me, no, it's Smaran Ravichandran. So I'll go by that. Thank you for giving your time. How's the recovery going on? And tell me about the fitness. You missed out the BCCI emerging series recently. So what happened? And if you could talk about that.
So no, I'm 100% fit, sir. The recovery has gone well and 100% fit to play matches now. And yes, I obviously missed the tournament. It was heartbreaking to miss it, but I think a lot of things to look forward to during the season. But now I'm fit and ready to go.
Absolutely. Smaran, first thing first, you're certainly not a one season wonder. With Red Ball since Kuch Bihar Trophy for Karnataka when you guys won, then back to back Ranji Trophy, stellar season, all format. If you could talk about your preparation, especially for the Red Ball. What do you do in the off season? How do you work on that? Because it's easy when we hear a name. Okay, this boy has done well in one season. But then the second season, it's more difficult to score. But you never saw that. You never gave us that that there's any blues there if he's struggling or not. We could talk about the preparation. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think preparation becomes extremely important, as you said. Off season becomes very important before we head into the main games during the season, and I think a lot of credit goes to Syed sir the way he plans out my off season training, and so preparation has always been. In a way which simulates the Ranji Trophy that I'm going to play later during the season. So it includes batting on different surfaces, if possible, batting on different wickets, that is red soil or black soil, batting on wickets that are not usually easy to play, because on a flat wicket you can anyway as a batsman you can adjust, but getting those runs on difficult wickets becomes a task for almost all batters. So playing on, especially in India, you get a lot of wickets that spin and offer assistance to spinners as you go towards day 3 and day 4. So preparing or batting on those wickets becomes very important during practice sessions. I feel in order to ensure that you succeed not only in the first innings but also in the second innings when you're batting in a game becomes extremely important to get a result for your team. So I think these are the small things that I've done during preparation, batting different bowlers, different conditions that has helped me slightly to overcome some challenges that is thrown to me during the game.
And Sayyid Bhai literally travels across the country with you, right? So, how you're doing and tracking every single thing. I mean, that's a great guy, great coach. I mean, it's like a father figure to you. I mean, I've spoken to him, and
Correct.
Is he a hard taskmaster when it comes to coaching?
I think at times, yes, in terms of following the process and for accomplishing tasks, the small tasks that are given to you, he really comes and stays behind you to ensure that you actually complete those small tasks that help you to grow as a cricketer, that help you to grow as a person, and to help you put different things into your game that can ultimately help you pile those volume of runs. So I think he's been right from childhood. He's been in a way where discipline comes first and the commitment towards the game comes first. And after a point, after 16, 17, he has eased out a little bit, but still the core values still remain the same, and he's always behind me to ensure that I get my practice well and I get those quality practices that is going to help me to do well in the future.
I think he is a very dedicated guy. When people generally, when we talk about Smaran Ravichandran, they talk about, okay, fantastic couple of seasons with Red Ball. But you had a stellar season with the white ball as well. Vijay Hazare, Syed Musaq, Ali Trophy, you helped Karnataka won that trophy. Uh, it's a very rare these days when we see cricketer playing all three formats. If you could talk a bit on that, how you guys switch formats, because I mean, literally there is no off season even for Indian domestic circuit cricketers. So how do you guys switch formats?
Yes, I think a lot of it comes into your off-season training. At least for me, as an individual, off-season training becomes extremely important for me to switch between formats during the season. So it may be if you take in a week, when we have 7 days of in a week, probably you start off Monday batting red ball and then immediately you switch the next day to white ball. So that helps you transition into the format very easily. And if you've done it enough for a period of 1 month or 1.5 months during the off season, where you're switching between red ball and white ball continuously during practice, your muscle memory as well as your batting instincts take over and your mind itself takes over to switch between formats during the season. So at least for me, it is it can be probably 2 days of batting red ball in the nets or in a ground or an open net situation, and then the next 2 days I immediately switch to the T20 or the 50 over format of batting in the same scenario of nets and open nets as well. So that probably has helped me somewhere along the line to ensure that I'm not facing any difficulties in sighting the ball well, or playing reckless shots when I'm transferring to especially from the white ball to the red ball cricket. I feel red ball to white ball still you have to play more shots in the white ball cricket format, but when you switch back from white ball to red ball, you still most of the players have a problem of chasing the balls outside off when you switch from white ball to red ball. So I think somewhere down the line, the off-season training, the muscle memory kicks over, and you can easily shift and focus onto the red ball, and you know exactly what to do. So I think a lot of credit goes to the off-season training that I've done. That just helped me to somehow ensure that I'm doing well across three formats.
Do you guys, when while changing format, do you guys tweak with your technique or, let's say, handle the stance? Do you guys do that in a different format? And how challenging, how difficult is that?
So I think it's more about the mindset rather than the technique. At least for me, I don't change my technique across three formats. It's more about the mindset of in red ball, the ball does a little more and it swings for a longer period of time compared to the white ball. So it's just being mindful of what scenario you're batting in red ball when you're switching over, and the mind, as long as you're in a good headspace and ensuring that the ball is doing something, giving respect to that spell, or giving respect to the bowler as and when he's bowling a good spell, and knowing that you have to spend long hours in the crease in order to accumulate and pile a lot of runs for your team. It's more about the mindset, I feel, rather than the technique. Obviously, a lot of batters might change their technique, but at least for me, it's about getting in the best headspace possible to ensure that I can switch between formats.
I just want to put you on a spot. I want to ask you one thing. Can a batter like Smaran Ravichandran score runs in T20 playing in the V? And is it possible to achieve that 180 or 200 side in the demand of T20 game these days while playing in the V?
I think it can be possible. So I feel it can be possible by playing the V, but obviously you need a few more range of shots in order to put the bowler off, because in a T20 game, bowlers don't bowl one length, and they keep varying their pace, they keep varying their lengths as well. So it is very important to ensure that you have other shots as well that can complement the shots that you have naturally, to ensure that you can get close to that 170, 180 strike rate, because nowadays we are seeing totals that like 240, 250 also being chased. So in order to ensure that you're up there in the strike rates, as well as getting your team across the finish lines and getting those consistent 200, 240s for your team, I feel along with this, the natural shots that you have that is playing in the V, you have to develop other shots as well. It doesn't have to be out of the book shots like a scoop or a reverse sweep, but you have to ensure that you broaden your range of shots to put the bowler off and make him bowl where you want to. So along with that, you still need a wider range of shots, is what I feel.
And how much do you work on your sweeps? Because since you've spoken about playing on different soil and in domestic when there's a rank turner, because these days we have seen batters struggling against if there's a rank turner, not able to reach, not able to use the feet and or the sweep shot because of there are theory that because of the sidearm thrower or only a pacer that you are facing in the net. How much you are working on those things in your batting?
So I think spin becomes a very important aspect of, especially playing in the subcontinent, because you get
Yeah.
surfaces that spin more than it seems. Being a very good player of spin becomes a very important aspect, as in when you keep climbing the ladder and you go on to play the highest levels. You get wickets that spin, as you said. So you need to ensure that you have a reverse sweep and sweep in order to put the bowler off. Many batsmen actually can still back their defense and ensure that they're very good at the defense, but in order to score runs and be effective, to put them off their lines and lengths, I feel sweep and reverse sweep becomes very important, and that is something that I am working on during this season, especially to put the bowler off with the reverse sweep and the sweep. And if you have those two shots in your batting, I feel it becomes easier as a batsman to score some runs off the spinners, especially on a turning track. And you just need to have it in your book, because you can use it as and when you play on those rank turners. And even if it's a flat wicket, you actually do not need to use them, and you can go on to your natural batting. But when as and when there is a wicket that spins, to put the bowler off, I feel these two shots become very important, and that is something that I am working on during this season.
How can I not ask about IPL? You had a quite a story on IPL, right? You joined as a replacement, you got injured, SRS then retained you, and this season, like all of us from the outside, we were kind of really hoping. Okay, I mean now this year he'll finally get a chance, and we were hoping that the performance, the form you'll carry into that IPL and everything you didn't get that many chances, but we're not able to, let's say, make the most out of it. How's the IPL experience? And when you hit such a high that you are leading run charts everywhere, and then suddenly you hit the cricket hits you with the reality check. How was that period? And if you could talk about your IPL experience and the franchise as well, Sunrisers.
I think as a franchise, SRH has been really great in terms of supporting their players and backing their players no matter what. And it was a great experience being and sharing the dressing room with a lot of guys who are one of the best batters in the world in the T20 format, be it Ishan, Abhishek, or even Klassen for that matter, or even Travis for that matter. They've dominated the T20 format, and just sharing a dressing room with them and watching them train and play matches on a regular basis, really you get to learn a lot as to what they're doing in their practice sessions and how they're being very effective in the T20 format. And but yes, sir, as you said, I had gotten a lot of runs leading into the IPL 2026, but I think that's the nature of the game. You don't get to score at will everywhere you go. And I think it was a very good learning experience for me to get a taste of what the IPL is. Obviously, I was there last year with SRS, but I couldn't play any matches because of an injury. And this year I got a chance to play, and I'm really grateful for the management for backing me for 6 games during the tournament. And yes, I think it didn't go according to what I was planning. And heading into the IPL, I was really confident that I could still dominate the same way. And but it is obviously some things that I learned during the course of the tournaments while playing, that few things that I need to work on heading into the next IPL, and that those are few things that I need to fine tune into my T20 batting, and put that amount of work in the off season now to ensure that I'm more ready and equipped to play the next IPL. And those are some things that I feel like I should just work on for a certain period of time, and I'm sure that I can be more so that I can be more prepared and ready for the next IPL, and perform better and give a lot back to the team.
People close to you has told me that obviously Sayyid Bhai has told me, and another cricketer from Karnataka and the coaches also, that you have great leadership skills. PK Naidu, they have delivered. There are talks that they might give you the captaincy this year of Karnataka. Or before that, you never know. South Zone, I'm not sure whether the squad has announced or not. at this age, at 23, when someone like you, when you are knocking on the Indian door, you're ready for this extra responsibility if given?
I think definitely yes, sir. I've always loved to lead my team and take my team to the championship, and it's a privilege to lead whichever team you're playing for, and the feeling of getting your team the trophy as a captain. I think there's nothing that matches that feeling, and throughout my life, I've always led Karnataka in my age group cricket, and we won the CK Naidu also in under 23, and even recently we won the Maharaja Trophy, which Shimoga Yoda was leading that team. And so I'm always looking forward to that challenge. And as I said, there's nothing like taking your team through as a captain, and it's a very heartening thing if that happens this year.
The one thing, like, I wanted to ask about the India A. I mean, again, there was like, I personally thought, okay, he'll get a chance there. Uh, but I mean, we don't know everything. We just go by the stats and record the Ranji Trophy, Ranji game. Since you have not played in North, mostly in Delhi, I've never watched you play. I've watched you play on the television, and whenever Karnataka is playing or I'm scrolling the school, I thought, man, we all thought, not me, my colleagues in the office, and the reporter that I talked to, everyone had thought that okay, Smaran will get his chance. This Sri Lanka is like he has nailed that spot, but the spot comes and you misses out. I mean, was it did you feel dejected, or was there any conversation why they didn't pick you?
So I think obviously I knew that there was a series in Sri Lanka and I was expecting to be a part of the squad. But I think that's the nature of the game as such. You have to keep working hard and ensure that you're actually scoring a lot of runs. But at the point of time when the squad came out, I didn't really. Obviously, I felt that I could have been there, but I didn't think too much of it, and I felt that I have to stay on top once again in the upcoming Ranji Trophy season, and to ensure that I need to pile on even more runs than what I did before, and that is exactly the mindset that is going to be there heading on to whatever tournaments that I'm going to be playing now, and that is to score more runs than what I've scored before, and to ensure that I'm on top again, because a lot of guys you see every year the same. There's a different guy at the top of the Ranji Trophy every year, but I don't think anyone has repeated the feat of being back-to-back top run getter in the Ranji Trophy, and that is something that I'm working towards to stay on top once again. And I think as you keep scoring runs and ensure that you're piling on runs, ultimately your bat will talk, and you will find a place in the team. So I didn't think too much of it at the time. I felt that I need to score more runs and ensure that I keep scoring runs, because in a country like India, there are so many good players who are representing the country at the highest level. So I just need to ensure that I am doing my job of scoring runs, and the rest will take care of it.
In this season going forward, Dilip Trophy will start, and I'm sure you'll get your due in the India A also. You never know in India A setup where you'll play, but in Dilip Trophy for South Zone or Karnataka, will we see you? I feel personally, and that you should bat in top four. There's a saying that if you want to play for India, score runs in domestic cricket, then knock down the door. But those in top four, do you see yourself getting? I mean, to promote yourself in the top four, top five, where you want to challenge yourself, because you have scored all your runs at 5 and 6.
Definitely, sir. I think I've always batted at number four. Last year in our Karnataka setup, Karun was batting at number four, and he started getting a lot of runs, and I also started getting a lot of runs at number five. So we didn't actually change the position, and it really helped us to dominate the league stage as well as heading into the knockouts. That combination was actually working for us. And I think even this year, I would like to see myself batting at number four for Karnataka. And at the end of the day, the number that I'm batting should actually ultimately help my team to win. And as long as that is happening, I really don't mind batting whichever number. But ideally, I would like to be in the top four, as you said, and it doesn't matter whether it's be it opening the batting number 3 or number 4, doesn't matter. And even if I don't get to bat number 4, and if I'm batting at number 5, the job is to still get the team to the finals and get the team to a championship, not only in one format but across 3 formats. So But yes, sir, as you said, I would like to see myself batting in the top four.
When I do an interview with a Gen Z cricketer, I generally go through the social media. Instagram is one thing. I found out something. SR10. Is it something? Is it like something which you have? Where the great man is a role model, or on those lines? Or how did this SR10 things? I mean, it came up. Do you wear jersey number 10, or Sachin Tendulkar is a role model? Is it something you have taken? I mean, like, if you could talk about that, yeah.
I think, yeah, obviously, Sachin Tendulkar is, an inspiration to all of us as cricketers growing up. But the number 10 is actually not, not because of Sachin Tendulkar, but number 10 is because my mother told me to take that number. And she
Oh,
believed that she just told me to, I used to use the number 5 before, but then she told me that, you have to just take number 10 and see. So I just took it according to what my mother said, and since then I've not changed.
really, I mean, I want the last question was on the family and the parents side. Since you've spoken about your mother, so talk about your parents, your father, your mother. How much involved they are? I mean, they obviously when there's so much sacrifices must have done. That's why because you are here, right? If you could talk about them, your roots and how much they have helped you. If you have in a family, the siblings, how much they help you generally to cut off those. I mean, bat, ball, field, runs, scores, failure, everything, and when you come back home.
Correct. As I think they've been extremely supportive, right, through childhood, and I think it was my mother who actually put me for cricket coaching here in the layout that I stay because I was actually very naughty at home, and Syed sir is actually coaching at the layout that I stay in right now, and my mother actually put me for coaching over there. And I think obviously my family comes from a very educational background, and a lot of people in my family have pursued the other field of engineering, and lot of guys have actually dwelled into the sports background. So I think for them it was actually something new, and the way they took it forward, and was really heartening to see that they didn't actually put any pressure on me. And obviously the emphasis was to balance both studies and cricket along the way, and to ensure that I ensure that I get good marks in school and college, and that is one side of things that I have to balance, especially from my mother. And cricket goes alongside it, side by side. So they have been at no point have they said that they have put any pressure on me to score runs or do anything. My mother sometimes she asks me when I'm not scored, she just asks what's happening and stuff like that. But I think that's the case of any mother caring about her son. And but I think they've been extremely supportive, and whenever I come back home, they always back me, and no matter what the thing, what is happening in the on the cricket field. So really grateful that I've had them throughout my life to support me, and along with them, as you mentioned, Syed sir also. I mean, he's been like an elder brother to me, and not only a coach. So he has also been a part of the family to convince them to actually let him take this field, let him do why he's doing well in cricket, let him pursue this field, and support him. So credit goes to all three of them. And even my sister also, she's there's an age gap of 6 years between me and her, and she doesn't know a lot about cricket, and she just follows me, and keeps
So you are the elder
showing
one.
her.
You're
Yes, I have an elder sister. So yes, she's 6 years
so
elder. 6 years elder.
yeah.
Yeah, she's 6 years elder to me. So she doesn't watch a lot of cricket, but she's always watches IPL, and any live matches that are happening, she always watches, and messages me after any good game. So all of them together have been really supportive, and ensured that I actually balanced my studies as well, because I feel that is also a very important
Yeah.
aspect in life. So ensuring that I balance both cricket and studies together is something that I can credit them for.
I mean, KL in one of the interviews said how happy her mother was, KL's mother was, when he received the job from RBI. So,
Correct, correct.
I mean, is there something like, okay, Smaran, let's complete your MBA, you should have a degree, you will play cricket for 10, 15 years. So after that, you should have something. Is there
Correct.
some conversation on that?
Definitely, definitely. That's the only conversation that happens with my mother. She cares lesser about cricket and more about my studies. And she always says that, you should have a good job, you should have your good educational background, and then cricket obviously will take care of things. You're doing well, and that will take care of things. But at the end of the day, you still have to have a good job, you have to have a good educational background. And I completely respect her for her viewpoint also, because in their days growing up, studies
Yeah.
becomes a very important aspect. And even now I feel cricket and studies should still go side by side, and balancing it actually teaches you a lot of things. So credit goes to them.
Your friend Sanjay Krishnamurthy is doing extremely well as well, balancing the act.
Right.
Thank you, Smaran. Yeah. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
sir.
much for
Thank you
your
so much.
time, and all the
Thank you,
best.
sir.
Stay fit. Smash it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.